Hi, welcome to episode 132 of the Passionate Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There is a Ravelry group on the for the podcast. Please come over, join, and thank you so much for being here. And thank you for all the nice comments about last week's podcast. I really appreciated the support. So, what I'm wearing today is my Netherton cardigan. I showed that to you last week as the main project that I had on the needles for my knitting in the present thing. It's also, of course, the knitting in the past because I'm wearing it. The pattern is by Lydia Gluck. It's this one here. It's from the first, this one. There we go. From the first issue of Pom Pom magazine. It was a very quick knit. I ended up with 3/4 lengths or, elbow length sleeves because I only had 350 gram skeins of each color. And I basically ran out. So I had this much left of each of the yarns. The pinkish purple yarn is Pflanzenfärberei Kroll, hand-dyed merino silk yarn or plant-dyed merino silk yarn. And this yarn here is Schoppelwolle Cashmere Queen, which is a felted single. There we go. So these are the two yarns that I used. That's the leftovers. The whole thing is knit on a 4mm needle. That's a US 6. And the ribbing is done on a 3.5mm. It's US 4. So I have problems with this sweater. I love it, but there's one thing that I dislike. So I'm gonna show you. So this is how far it goes. Goes almost to my hip bone. The problem is the V goes down to the button band. So when I start, moving, doing stuff, it slits off the shoulder and it looks like this, which is not a style that I really go for. So what I'm going to do, it has only 3 buttons at the bottom. That's how it's supposed to be. So what I will do is, I'm gonna have to do this like this. I will sew on poppers, invisible poppers, on this brown band here, and sew 2 of the buttons on top of them. So it closes until here. And that will prevent it from gaping open so much. Because right now, it's a lot of doing this, I don't like that. If I'm putting on a sweater, I want it to, stay where it is without me having to pull it up all the time. So that is what needs to happen for me to be 100% happy with it. So that's my knitting in the past. Knitting in the present. As you can see, I'm in a different room and my space is very limited. So I have my show notes on my lap and then not, and then, yeah. Okay, knitting in the present. I have one thing. It's the Penguino by Stephen West. I'm knitting it for my son, of course. It's in this project bag that I made for myself last year. It's a lot of fun. It's so much fun. I do not want to stop working on this. So I have done a lot. Yesterday my arms really hurt, so I didn't knit a lot yesterday. If I had continued knitting in the evening, I think I could have finished the pattern as it's intended to be. Okay, now let me show you. This is what I have. This is what it looks like. This is the back. And here's the first front, done as per the pattern. So the thing is, this comes in 4 sizes, and by changing gauge, these 4 sizes become 8 sizes. So what I did, I looked at the size that gave me the width of, or the bust circumference that I liked to have for my son. And that is this. It's quite wide. this is the width here. But my son is very tall for his age. So this goes roughly halfway down his back. So I'm going to change a few things. The first thing I'm going to change is I'm going to do long sleeves, because the sleeves are done at this length. You know, they are like t-shirt length sleeves. But I have this much yarn left for each sleeve. This is the only full skein I dug out. It's a hand-dyed worsted weight from a German hand dyer. And I'm using this to finish off this sleeve. And I have the second ball for the other half attached to this stitch holder. That's the word. So I'm gonna do the sleeves as long as possible, which gives me long sleeves, hopefully. If not, I will make them long sleeves. And then to make it lengthwise to what I want it to be. Wait, I'm gonna have to get rid of this ball of yarn. I'm gonna do it by sticking a needle through it and through here. So now, to lengthen the cardigan, shit, that didn't work. To lengthen the cardigan, what I will do is, after I have finished the sleeves, and I've done all the things I'm supposed to do, this is not going to work. What am I doing here? Okay. So after I have done the sleeves and, you know, finished them off the way that the pattern is intended, because I can still continue doing what the pattern wants, I just do it a bit longer. I then will pick up all the stitches at the bottom, all around the bottom, here, and to the fronts. And I will use this yarn combination here and knit probably 10 garter ridges, which is also still kind of what the pattern wants you to do. But then I'm going to go off on my own. I'm going to do more welts, 2 or 3 at the bottom here, and then I'm going to do another set of garter ridges, and then I will do the edging as intended. So yeah, it's I mean, this is super cute. I just cannot show you because it just falls open again. Not sure how I will be able to show you what it's supposed to look like, but maybe I can do it like this. So this is more or less what it's going to look like in the end. I am using the skein of hand-dyed yarn that I dug out of my stash. I started with that in the back. I used it for the fronts, and I'm using it for the sleeves because this is my main yarn. The welts, I am using Wollmeise skeins, and these are birdies that I got at the Wollmeise shop because I spent so much yarn, so much money that they gifted me, or I was allowed to pick out these 3, and I decided to use those for the welts. Then these yarns here are a skein of Joanne's Sensation held together with a skein of Patton's Croy. This is different leftovers. That's the Sensations in Croy again. This is Regia Angora in a turquoise color and a hand-dyed yarn from a German hand dyer who's out of business, has been out of business for almost 10 years now. So, oh, here's more different leftovers up here. So I'm using mainly leftovers and 3 full skeins that I decided to use. So that's the Patton's Croy I decided to put in, and I'm holding that one with this Sensations yarn. That's from Joanne's, I think. And yeah, the yarn I'm using right now is from Zauberwiese. Here we go. This is the hand-dyed worsted weight skein that I'm using. I originally had planned to do the collar because it has like a shawl collar. I wanted to do that with this beautiful smoky blue alpaca yarn, but this is not superwash. And everything else I have put in this cardigan so far is superwash yarn. So I'm going to not use the alpaca because I want to continue being, you know, able to wash this in the machine, because putting in this alpaca will make it hand wash. And, you know, I have a very rowdy boy who likes to run around and get dirty. So having this machine washable is kind of what I want. So I'm going for long sleeves. I'm going to lengthen it considerably. And I am going to do a button closure in the front. So that is an actual jacket and not just a throw-on cardigan. Because I think that I would, or, you know, my son will get more use out of it if I do it that way. And it's just so much fun. The only thing that's not so much fun is, can you see my problem? I think it's very obvious. It has a million ends, but I don't care. It's not an actual problem because I don't mind doing the finishing work and weaving in ends and doing stuff like that. And also, now where's the end of this? Oh, okay. I think it's going to be really worth it because this is going to be so cute, and I'm going to make it long enough so he can definitely wear it all winter and hopefully till, you know, next summer comes along. So this is on my needles and it's a ton of fun. I'm so glad I decided to make this. And having worked on this all week, because this is the only thing I have on my needles right now. I have fuzz in my mouth. Yeah, now I got it. Okay, sorry. Having worked on this, I'm really glad that I have one for myself on the needles as well, and I really want to get back to it. So this is the one thing I have actively on the needles. Now, knitting in the future. I do have knitting in the future because this week, Hoe Locatelli released her new pattern, and I love it. It's, you know, it's super easy. It's very simple. That's why it's called Super Simple Summer Sweater. So this is her pattern. It's the Super Simple Summer Sweater. I bought it immediately after it came out. And then I went on the hunt for yarn because this is knit out of worsted weight. The yarn she uses is a merino and cotton blend. And I knew that I didn't have that. But it doesn't have to be a summer sweater, you know. I can use this as a year-round sweater. So what I finally decided on doing is I'm going to use Stoppelwolle Zauberball. So this is going to be one stripe. This blue and this green held together. And the other stripe is going to be this brown held together. So I'm going to have brown and then this as alternating stripes. And I think this is going to look amazing. And all of these were bought at the factory shop at Stoppelwolle at a discounted price because they are shorter skeins. They are not full 100 gram skeins. So, but I still have enough. I have 4 of the brown and I have 2 each of the blue and the green. So I'm really excited about this. I think this is going to be really nice. I would have loved to do it in a more subtle color scheme, you know, do a creamy white and a gray like she did. But I have talked about not wanting to buy yarn if I don't really have to, because I have so much stuff. And I do have this yarn and it works, you know, it works perfectly for the pattern if I hold it double, because then it will just be what it needs to be. So I'm going to do it like this, and it's going to be a nice thing in the end. It's also going to have roughly the same stripe width as this cardigan that I just made. So apparently that is what's going on now. So that's the only thing I have planned for now because I have so much stuff that I want to finish first. Okay, new stuff. I do actually have new stuff, and I did not buy this. My friend the Stitchionista spun some yarn from legs that she made herself, for herself. And when she finished spinning, she decided that she really didn't care for it. And it's not her colors, but it's very much my colors because it's green and yellow and gray. And it looks like this. I have no idea about yardage. I don't know how much it is. She finished plying and gave it to me. So I have to wash it and, do all the finishing stuff, which is not a big deal. But I have hand spun. I have new hand spun to show. And I'm probably gonna use this for a shawl. So that's my new stuff. Now, let's flip over. Reading, listening, watching. I need a sip. Okay. I have finished a book and I've started another one. I'm reading the Paxton Park series. I have read the first book, Peril in Paxton Park, last week. And then, after I had finished that one, I started Panic in Paxton Park, which is book number 2 of the Paxton Park mystery series. It's written by J.A. Whiting. And she has a ton of cozy mysteries on Kindle Unlimited. And I finished that one, really liked it. And the third book I started, and I'm like 40 pages in, and it's called A Puzzle in Paxton Park. I like these books. The main character in the books is called Shelley, and she moved to Paxton Park, which is a resort. Is it resort or is it resort? So she moved there after she had a horrible car accident where her twin sister passed away. And of course, after she moves there, people start dying, which never happened there before, because that's also very much like Cozy Mysteries work. Nothing ever happened there, and then immediately after the main protagonist moves there, people start to die. Unnatural death. Which is a very ridiculous thing, as a theme, but that's the theme for a lot of Cozy Mysteries. And I quite like that. So what did I do? Okay. So Shelley then starts having dreams where her twin sister, who died in a car crash, appears. And she realizes soon after that those dreams always point to the terrible things that have happened and to the, the solution to what actually went on. So she befriends her neighbor, Juliet, and Juliet's sister, Jay, is police officer. So those 3 women do a lot of the investigating together, although Shelley and Juliet don't involve Jay in their police work. She just gets involved when she needs to do stuff because she's a police officer. So yeah, I quite like this. It's easy to read Cozy Mysteries. It's not high literature, but it's fun, and that's what reading is about sometimes. So I read those books, and then I listened to audiobooks. I finished The Undead Uproar by Amanda M. Lee, which is the 5th book in the Charlie Rhodes Cozy Mystery series, which I love. I love, love, love those books. So after I finished that one, I started to think about what I wanted to listen to next. And nothing really spoke to me. I looked through my Audible and looked again and looked again, and then I just said to myself, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna start the series over. And I did. So after finishing The Undead Uproar, I decided to go back and start from the top. So I already finished listening to The Bigfoot Blunder, which is the 1st book in the series. And I also listened to The Chupacabra Catastrophe, which is book number 2. And I'm going to download books 3, 4, and 5 on my phone so I can take them with me on vacation, because I'm going to go on vacation tomorrow. So that's all the reading, listening, watching, because I haven't watched anything. I still have absolutely no mood watch stuff. I don't want to watch anything. I'm not watching any movies. I'm not watching TV shows. I'm not watching podcasts. I don't watch anything. I don't want to right now. I want to read and I want to listen to audiobooks and I want to not watch stuff. Okay. I have something for sewing, but I cannot show you. I sat down on the weekend and made a pair of pajamas for my husband because it's going to be his birthday next weekend. And like I said, I'm going to go on vacation tomorrow with my family. So we're going to be on vacation on his birthday. And I didn't realize that until my sister said to me, how are we going to do this with his birthday? Because we're on vacation. I was like, oh, holy shit. I totally forgot about this. So I dug out the pattern. And that's the only thing I have to show because the actual pajamas are wrapped, gift wrapped, ready to be packed in my suitcase. So this is the pattern that I used. It's New Look 6321. It looks like this. And I did the t-shirt, view A, and view C, the long pants. I did the pants out of a green and black plaid flannel. And the t-shirt is a gray jersey with a robot print on and black sleeves. I'm gonna post pictures of the pajamas when I have gifted them to my husband. I can show you pictures though. I took pictures just very quickly to have them. I sent them to my friends and said, I did it. I finished. So this is the t-shirt on the top. It's very cute fabric. It is VHS cassettes, normal cassettes, and, floppy disks drawn as little robots. And these are the pants, just, flannel pants. There's nothing fancy about those. So, yeah, that's my sewing for the week. And I did that on the weekend because Tim and I were alone. And I got to sit down and sew those pajamas. Now, that's it. Everything else. What a week. I have no idea where to start this. This week, a post was made on Instagram about the diversity hashtag. And the person who put that hashtag out in the world did a very tone policing and this is not how I wanted this to go post that I never really read in the first place. So I can't actually talk about this or this specific post. But I do know that some of the BIPOC members of our community said, it's not okay. This is not okay. Tone policing is not okay. And it might have been you who put out the hashtag, but the whole movement was there way before, and you cannot claim that hashtag as your own, and you cannot tell people what they're allowed to post on it. And things got out of hand very quickly because when you are told that you are doing wrong, your first instinct is to protect yourself and to defend yourself. But in this case, it would have been a million times better to say, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry. But that didn't happen, and things got way out of hand. And so I'm surprised, I am shocked, I'm ashamed of myself and my behavior for not doing something, I just don't know. I posted something in my Instagram stories about it yesterday, and I just wanted to address it because what went down was really wrong. And if you do not know who I talk about, I'm talking about Nathan and his husband Ben, who did some not okay things And as I haven't read all of the things that are there to read, it's the only thing I'm comfortable saying. It was absolutely not okay. It could have been resolved with a, I'm sorry, that's not what I intended. But yeah, it didn't work out that way. And what actually went down in the end was quite horrible. So, yeah, I just don't know what to say about it. And the whole situation made me think about where I am. Where do I stand? You know, I made very clear where I stand on Ravelry and the Trump supporting ban they did. I made that very clear last week and the week before. And I lost a lot of subscribers, and I did also get not very nice comments. And I felt like I felt attacked on some of those. But it wasn't a lot. I got way more support. You know, a lot of people said, yes, you are so right. But being told by complete strangers, you know, because the most of the comments that I got that were unfriendly were from people I have never talked to before. And being told by total strangers how stupid I am and that I should stick to my own politics, because why do I care about what goes on in America? You know, it's not like it's important for the whole world. No, it's just important for America. Nobody else needs to bother. That made me feel bad. It made me feel bad because, you know, getting told that you're stupid is never a good thing. But it also made me realize how fragile I am. And I think that is exactly what white fragility means. Because having spoken to one of my wonderful BIPOC friends and having her tell me that she happens to have those shit things told to her on a daily basis, I was like, but why? I spoke out about the matter. You didn't publicly speak out about it, and you still get way more shit than I do. And her only answer to that was, you are white. And I'm starting to realize what that actually means. You know I'm white. I know I have a lot of privilege because of that. But because of the area where I live isn't very diverse, I don't get to see a lot of things because I don't experience them where I am in my daily life. So a lot of the things that are going on are just so shocking to me because I never thought that this could be happening in our day and age. And fact is, it is happening. And I want to be a good ally to my friends, and I want to make sure that everybody is safe here and with me. So I am trying to learn. I'm going to read some books because that is the only way I know how to educate myself on topics. I'm going to read books. I'm going to try to be a better ally. I'm going to try to be just more open-minded. I'm trying to be less defensive about myself and more just more open-minded, and reading things as a white person who has never had to deal with racism. I sometimes don't see things that are questionable, and when people point it out to me, it was like, okay, yeah, it makes sense, but I wouldn't have seen it on my own. So I'm going to do a lot of work on myself, and I hope that I will be able to see things for what they are sooner, and before I'm getting hit in the face with it. So that's what I plan to do. I know this everything else section has been a lot of political and inclusionary talk lately, but it is fly. It's very important, and I'm kind of surprised by all the people who say, oh, but I always thought our knitting community was different. I thought this was the happy place for everyone. That's very unrealistic, you know? I think that in a community that is as large as the knitting community, you have every type of person in there. There is no way around that. And we are now at a point where people are starting to show their faces and show their insides, you know, and not just their knitting. So yeah, sorry, but that is how things are, and I want to talk about this because it bugs me, you know. It hurts me, and I know that I'm not nearly as hurt and as I don't know what to say, how to say that. I'm not nearly as in a bad place as BIPOC women and men in our community are. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. I have two other things. No, one other thing. No, two other things. So the next VKN is going to be next Saturday. That is the 27th of July. If you want to join, come over to the Ravelry group, click on the link in the VKN thread, and you have joined. Yeah, that's that. The other thing, Sadie and I are doing the summer book club, and our book is The Essex Serpent by Sarah Perry. Oof, I'm very much struggling with this book. I don't know if I've talked about it already, but I'm on page 16 or 17, and this writing style is hard. I don't know if it's just hard for me because I'm not a native English speaker, or if it's generally hard to read. But it's really hard. It's so hard for me to understand. I mean, I do understand, but it's just... My Cozy Mysteries are a ton easier. So what I did this week, I went on YouTube and I wanted to find people who have reviewed this book. And most people and most reviews I found, people love this book. They said it's amazing, it's so much better, it's so different than what you expect. And I don't know. I mean, to everybody who bought the book to get in the book club and doesn't like it, I'm very sorry. I did not know this. It's a common problem for me because I never read into a book before I buy it. And I should start doing that. I should find a book that I like the cover of and I like the summary of, and then I should read the first page. Because if I had read the first page in this book, I would have known that this is not a book for me. I mean, yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. If you have joined our summer book club, or if you want to join our summer book club, today we are starting the third act, or the third big chapter in the book. And it's called, what is it called? Where is it? It's called To Keep a Constant Watch. Part number 3 of the book. This is this week's assignment, and next week we're going to start the last bit of the book. And yeah, I have put up all the threads in the Ravelry group, and they're all spoiler threads, so you can talk about what you read and just, yeah, let me know about what you think about this. And then I have one more thing, but that's the last thing. I have this here. Now, come on. Ooh. I went to a class with Stephen West at Woolen. And in this class, I did a swatch because it was about color and blending stuff. And my swatch was quite ugly. It was this piece of fabric here. And I have now put this into a pin holder. So what I did, I blocked it first of all. I washed and blocked it. And then I cut a piece of white felt and this little piece of ribbon. And I put it in my sewing machine and sewed it together all the way around. And then I put my pins on. So I am not an enamel pin collector, but I do have some, and all of these I have either bought with intention, not just because I thought they were pretty, or I got gifted. I got them gifted. So these are the first two that I have on here. It says, she believed she could, so she did, and treat people with kindness. That is from Harry Styles' merchandise shop, because I love Harry Styles. And then the Resting Knit Face from Stephen and Penelope. This one was a enamel pin for EYF last year. I have Wonder Woman, and she says, stronger than you believe you are. Or no, just stronger than you believe. I have the woolen cats from this year and the woolen pin from last year. That's another EYF pin. This one I got gifted from my friend Catherine. It's the German and the Welsh flag. I had to buy this one this year at Woolen. It's a Game Boy with the knitting. And this was also a gift. So I have all my enamel pins on this here, and it hangs up there on a nail. And therefore I have a use for the swatch that I made, because I don't like knitting stuff that I don't use for anything. So that is it. I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I still need to go decide what I want to bring for my knitting. I'm definitely going to bring the Penguino, but I have no idea what else. So I'm gonna have to decide on that, and I have to pack my bags. I'm gonna take books. I posted the books I'm gonna take on Instagram, and yeah, I'm gonna be back in a week, very relaxed, hopefully. I hope you all have a wonderful time. I'm not sure if I will find time to do another podcast before my next VKN, but we will see. Okay, I hope you all have a wonderful time. Enjoy everything you do. Bye.